Hey, what's going on, guys? I got an E200 here and I got an E175 right here. Obviously the front tire on this one is the same size as the E200's front and rear. If you do have a similar scooter, you could just do a tire insert swap, meaning that you literally take out the inserts of your E200, swap it out. But what we're doing is we're replacing the inner tube. This is just if you're in a pinch. For my test run with my 1000-watt conversion, I got my full videos up on this channel. But this, I have a pop in my tire, stays inflated for a little bit. You roll around the block one time, it's dusted, it needs to be replaced. Let me walk you through this and summarize it. First thing we do is you take off the top. You have 2 screws up front, 1, 2. You have 2 Allens, 1, 2, and then after these 2 screws here, you have 2 more Phillips heads here, and then these screws in the back actually have nuts on the bottom of them here. So you have 2 short ones up front Phillips, 2 ones right in the middle here, those are Allen wrench ones. You have 2 long Phillips right here in the back, and then you have 2 more Phillips in the back that actually have nuts on the bottom of them. That then removes the top, so your battery is exposed. And then you have a 16mm nut right here. I went ahead and used a wrench on one side and a socket set on the other, 16mm, they're both 16mm. And then what I did is I lined it up so I know how to put it back together. You have right here, you have a washer right on the back right there with a spacer. You don't have to remove your brake drum right here. And then I just lined it up so I know how to put it back. We have our nut right here, we have a small black washer here and a silver washer here, and then this spacer right here goes inside the drum right there. It's gonna be, it might be a little difficult to put it back together. You can use a screwdriver, kind of poke it through one side, kind of line everything up, or lay it on its side, which I'll probably do. And then the axle slips out. You have a spacer right on the back side right here, but then also you have your washer here, then your spacer, and then your tire here with the sprocket on top. I've already removed the sprocket. That lays right on top like this. You have 3 small 5/16 right on top right there. Those are the little ones that come off of the sprocket. If you're having trouble with those, go ahead and shoot some WD-40 on them. Come back in 5 minutes. That removes the sprocket there. Then you're looking at this right here with 4 Allen screws right here with little black washers on the end of them here. That is size 5 Allen wrench. Mine were pretty easy to unscrew. If you're having trouble, shoot them with WD-40. Come back in 5 minutes. It's a 2-piece wheel. After that, you go ahead and just pop this guy off. It'll go ahead and, like, you know, obviously come off. My inner tube is trash. This thing is literally trash. That's why obviously it wasn't being able to hold air. I'm gonna look at this tire. I got a lot of strands running through here. You do have a black spacer inside as well. That's inside from the back bearing through. Okay, just so remember that. And then we have our inner tube right here. The back obviously just falls right off, and that is your brake drum back right there. That's where your screws go into. It's a 2-piece wheel again. And then you just remove that junk of an inner tube, pop in your new one, inflate it slightly just so it has shape. Go ahead and put it all back together the way it was. Pretty simple. And just a couple helpful tips for you. My spacer and washer didn't fall out on this side of the brake drum. And I also have this piece right here broken, which normally it would extend further. You might have to take off that piece. Pretty simple there. You can see all the guts inside. The chain just slips right off. Other than that, I think I'm gonna have to do a tire swap. I think my inner tube and tire is junk. It has a little chip out of the side right there. It's probably salvageable, but since I just have an extra E175 laying around, I'm using parts off of that. I'll probably just do a tire insert swap because that tire and inner tube are good there. Here's a quick tip for you if you are trying to get off your lug nuts and you don't have 2 hands and it's propped up and you don't want it falling over. Go ahead and just grab this with your right hand, take a mallet, make sure that the wrench is completely on the bolt, and just go ahead and take a rubber mallet and give it a little tap-a-rooney. I've already done that, but obviously I'm just kind of showing you guys, and that will loosen that up if you're struggling with it while it's propped up like that. Go ahead and obviously crank out the rest of it, and there you go. So actually, after noticing, my E175 tire is completely beautiful compared to this one that is thrashed. This is what the inside is supposed to look like, nice and clean. Stem valve looks great. It's the same size, 200 times 50. And again, just like all my videos, I will have parts and tools and inner tubes and so on linked in the description box below for your convenience. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this together. I have one tip for you when you do put the two-piece wheel back together. All right, here's a little tip for you as you're putting back the wheel here. I would put the rear center bolt through the actual tire like this so that the spacer inside the center on the bearings inside the two-piece wheel can stay centered as you tighten it down. Now here's my other tip. When you're tightening the number 5 Allen wrench bolts here, here, and here, all 4 of them, as you're tightening them, do a couple rotations and then jump over here to this side. Not clockwise or counterclockwise. Start here, jump over here, and then over here. Star pattern just like you do an automobile's tire, so it's nice and even pressure as it locks into place with the other set. And then finish inflating the inner tube before you put back on the sprocket. Obviously, then it will be able to fit on there, and then it's on the actual tire, but max press is 36 PSI, so don't go any higher than 36 PSI. You might want to be careful and lock it in 34 or so just to be safe. I like to inflate it to the full max capacity, but you definitely don't want to blow your inner tube while you're cruising at 30 miles an hour.